Do you have an old 70s film camera stashed in the attic? In the age of contactless payments, you'll want to keep an eye out for this quarter. Those old casserole dishes your grandma uses to make you lasagna, she will want them back. You'll want to stick around until the end because you won't believe how much this aspiring Jedi went for in 2015. Working film cameras. Film cameras are highly desired by camera enthusiasts who want a vintage film look that no digital camera can produce. In the 70s, film was the medium for photography, and many old cameras are valuable collectibles if they are in excellent condition. Ones with their original packaging and other included accessories are even more valuable. Even if you have no desire to use them, displaying them and holding on to them can still be very valuable well into the future because these cameras are rare and no longer produced. Even the simple point-and-shoot cameras, like the Rollei 35 camera from the 70s, are premium. The Canon F1AE film camera can be worth a couple of $100. The Hasselblad 500 ELM film camera sells for approximately $1,000. The Nikon F2 Titan film camera ranges from $700 to $2,200. The Leica M4 or M5 rangefinder film cameras can be worth up to $3,000. If you have one in exceptional condition with everything, it can be worth over $11,000.
It's a no-frills, no-sex-appeal machine that is about as simple as they come. I personally feel like the Nikon F2 is a great camera for just about anyone.
1970 quarter. Coin collecting might seem like it's all about old coins or ones from faraway places. However, valuable coins derive value from proof quality, minting errors, exceptional condition, and numismatic interest. Some minting errors are so rare and outrageous that some people will pay whatever to own them. Take the 1970 quarter, for example. A limited number of coins minted in 1970 were accidentally printed over 1941 Canadian quarters. How could this have happened, you may ask? There could be a few reasons, but most likely it was a mix-up of a blank coin disc called a planchette. The 1970 quarter was struck on a planchette for the 1941 Canadian quarter. Watch for it in your spare time, especially if you see these anomalies. A 1970 quarter sold for a jaw-dropping $35,000 on eBay in 2016. Contactless payments? Hold on a sec. Maybe it's time to pay with cash again and check out some quarters.
They carry a legacy of craftsmanship and rarity that make them highly sought after by collectors worldwide.
CorningWare and other casserole dishes. Do you recall those casserole dishes with handles adorned with yellow or orange flower patterns you never gave a second thought about until today? Corningware dishes from the 70s are highly sought after by collectors, particularly rare designs. Nearly any casserole dish from the brand in good condition holds value, but patterns like La Romarin featuring tomatoes, artichokes, peppers, and other veggies can fetch astonishing prices. For example, a Corningware dish recently sold for a whopping $8,000. There's also a rare 1970s 5-quart casserole dish with a cover featuring a simple blue cornflower pattern that recently sold for $10,000.
You mix in, freeze in, fry in, boil in, bake in, serve in, and take pride in.
Walk Lively Steffie Barbie. Do you remember Barbie's friend Steffi from the 1970s? She might not be as well known as Barbie herself, but an unopened Walk Lively Steffie doll still in its original box can fetch nearly $550 in today's market. The Walk Lively Steffie doll was famous for featuring an innovative walking action when pushed along a surface. If that's not innovative, we don't know what is. Collectors often seek out Steffi dolls to add to their collections, particularly those with unique features or pristine condition, making them valuable pieces of the Barbie universe. The Addams Family Lunchbox. Remember the Addams Family? They're not just spooky and kooky, they're valuable too. This metal lunchbox by King Seeley features the cartoon version of everyone's favorite strange sitcom family. A set in good condition, complete with the lunchbox and matching thermos, can be worth up to $325.
Surfing or he's water skiing.
They're on the water. It's
The Garden of Abdul Gasazi by Chris Van Allsburg. Your book collection isn't just for entertainment, it could also be a lucrative investment. For example, the first edition of The Garden of Abdul Gasazi, a children's book by Chris Van Allsburg from 1979. Even if it's in fine condition, it could be worth nearly $1,000. And if you're lucky enough to have a collection of Van Allsburg's first editions, you're golden. The first edition of Jumanji from 1981 is worth hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And if you have a signed first edition of the Polar Express from 1985, it could be worth a whopping $2,500.
One cool thing is that the signature is a contemporary signature.
David Bowie's Diamond Dogs album. Do you have any old vinyl records lying around? You should take a closer look. In 1974, David Bowie released the Diamond Dogs LP, which featured artwork of a cartoonish Bowie dog. The top half of the creature was Bowie himself, while the bottom half was all canine, including its genitals. Just before the album was released, RCA decided to play it safe and had the artwork retouched to remove the controversial parts. But some savvy employees managed to get their hands on some of the original, unaltered copies. In 2003, an original copy of the Diamond Dogs LP with the original artwork was sold for an impressive $3,550. If you possess a copy of this rare album, you're sitting on a valuable piece of music history.
I could see it actually stopping traffic on the sidewalk.
Vintage fashion accessories. In the 1970s, fashion accessories were all about iconic trends and legendary designers. Original handbags, earrings, and necklaces from this era, especially those from fashion powerhouses like Gucci, Yves Saint Laurent, and Dior, are intensely coveted. Vintage items from these designers can cost several hundred to thousands of dollars, depending on the piece and its condition. If you're lucky enough to score an authentic 1970s fashion gem, you'll not only be rocking a piece of history, but also making a stylish statement that's sure to turn heads and start conversations.
Check out this fabulous vintage muff, a stylish hand warmer that's making a comeback.
Sports Illustrated board games. Sports fans are known for their unwavering loyalty and enthusiasm. They often collect tons of memorabilia to support their favorite teams. In the 1970s, America's favorite pastime was Major League Baseball. In 1971, Sports Illustrated tapped into this passion by releasing its first baseball board game. This was before gaming, so board games were a big deal. Over the next 2 years, they released new editions to coincide with each baseball season. If you're a devoted baseball fan, it might be worth checking your board game collection to see if you have any of these vintage editions tucked away between Monopoly and Scrabble. Sports Illustrated released board games from other sports, including American football, pro tennis, and basketball. Who knows? You might have a valuable piece of sports history right under your nose.
Colors of green and red are indications of left-handedness or right-handedness.
Boy Scouts Memorabilia. Do you know if your father or grandfather was ever a member of the Boy Scouts? You might have boxes filled with old patches, medals, rings, and bandanas. While many scouts sewed their patches onto their uniforms, the most valuable ones remain unused or cut off from their uniforms. Look at your collection to see if you have any Boy Scouts memorabilia. It can be worth a couple of $100s to over $1,000 as a collection. Whether it's a vintage uniform, a pristine patch, or a rare advertisement, your scouting memorabilia could hold more than just sentimental value.
This merit badge sash is mine, as are the awards other than 2 of them.
Pez Dispensers. You likely have fond childhood memories of filling Pez dispensers with candy and popping the head for a candy treat, a tradition dating back to the 1930s. During the 1950s, the Austrian company became extremely popular in America. This led to collectors searching for all the different variations of the toy. If you have any old Pez dispensers, check the Pez Price Guide at pezpriceguide.com to see if they are worth a fortune. You may have a vintage Pez dispenser in your collection that is treasured. Superheroes and villains from the 1978 DC universe could be worth a couple of $100s. This Thor Pez dispenser with distinct blonde hair and no painted face from Austria sold on eBay for $350, and this snowman from the 1976 Winter Olympics sold for $590.
The 1976 Olympics mascot is what you see right here.
Vintage magazines. Whether you've been stashing away old issues of Rolling Stone, Sports Illustrated, Time Magazine, or Playboy, they could be worth much more than the few quarters they might have cost in the 1970s. It's worth taking the time to sift through your collection. Lots of issues can sell for over $100 or more. While some magazines may hold little value, watch for covers featuring celebrities, significant historical moments, and special editions. Rolling Stone magazines featuring David Bowie and Led Zeppelin on the covers are collectible items. This 1974 Vogue Paris magazine honoring Marlene Dietrich sold for almost $200. Almost any Sports Illustrated magazine featuring the Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier trilogy of fights is worth hundreds of dollars. This autographed 1978 issue sold for nearly $1,300 on eBay. You never know. You might have a valuable piece of vintage publishing history tucked away in your attic.
The pages have aged, and look at all of the ads.
The original Sony Walkman. Long live the era of mixtapes and cassettes. While you may have said goodbye to your old Beatles tape, holding on to the original Sony Walkman from 1979 could be music to your ears. While the later models aren't fetching much, eBay sellers have found significant profit in good to excellent condition versions of the original Walkman, with sales ranging from $500 to $1,100. So, if you're still hanging on to that iconic piece of music history, you might be sitting on a windfall.
The Walkman and their iconic headphones introduce a revolution in listening habits and popular culture at large.
Old Fisher-Price toys. Since the 1930s, the company has been a household name cherished by families worldwide. In the 1980s, the Fisher-Price Collectors Club established its mission of preserving, buying, selling, and trading these beloved toys. The original Little People toy line, introduced in 1959, started a legacy that has since expanded to include approximately 5,000 toys. Among the vast array of Little People toys, the Family Camper set is one of the most popular from the 1970s. Introduced in 1973, the Little People Play Family Car and Camper 992 set featured a colorful camper with a pop-up tent, a boat, Little People figures, and other accessories. People who love to collect and play with this toy find it very special because it brings back fond memories and provides endless opportunities for imaginative play.
And again, what is making this sell for more is that it has all of the figures, okay? This sold for $185.
Luke Skywalker Action Figure. If you or your father were a Star Wars fan when it originally came out and bought a 1977 Luke Skywalker action figure, chances are it wasn't stashed away and kept in pristine condition. Like many fans at the time, you played the heck out of it. As the popularity of the movie franchise grew, so did the value of the toys, especially the 1977 action figures from Kenner. In 2015, the Kenner toy with the double telescoping lightsaber sold for an incredible $25,000. At that time, there were only 20 known unopened Luke Skywalkers like it. At the time of this video, there are now only 8 for sale, and they can be had for around $2,000. But don't worry if you don't have this ultra-rare figure. Your old played-with Star Wars toy collection could still be worth a pretty penny. Lots of the 1977 action figures can be sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars.
Same picture you get on the 12-back or 20-back cards.
If you enjoyed this video, watch another one. Here's one more video about more valuable things from the past.